In the picturesque countryside, amidst rolling green hills and vast farmlands, there existed a quaint little village. This village was not just any ordinary place. It was the home of Princess Amara, the beloved daughter of King Tafari, the ruler of the land. Amara, being the eldest daughter, had inherited her father's kind and gentle nature, which she gracefully extended to the villagers. The villagers adored their princess, as she was known for her compassionate heart and her unwavering dedication to their well-being. Amara would often spend her days traversing through the village, lending a helping hand wherever it was needed. She would assist the farmers in their toil, offer solace to the elderly, and bring joy to the children with her warm smile and playful spirit. However, amidst all her benevolence, Amara faced a personal struggle that caused her great distress. Despite her virtuous character and admirable qualities, she battled with a challenging issue, a strong body odor that emitted an unpleasant smell. This unfortunate condition had plagued her for years, leaving her feeling self-conscious and ashamed. Amara had tried countless remedies and sought the advice of healers and experts, but no solution seemed to alleviate her predicament. She would spend hours on end researching ancient remedies, concocting potions, and experimenting with various natural ingredients, all in the hope of finding a cure that would rid her of this burden. The villagers, being aware of Amara's predicament, stood by their beloved princess, offering their support and understanding. They knew that her body odor did not define her true essence and that her beautiful soul far outweighed any physical imperfections. Despite her struggles, Amara remained determined to overcome this obstacle. She refused to let it hinder her ability to serve her people and bring happiness to their lives. With unwavering determination, she continued to fulfill her duties as a princess, spreading love and compassion throughout the village. One fateful day, as Amara was tending to the village garden, she stumbled upon an ancient book hidden amongst the flowers. Intrigued, she opened it, and her eyes widened in astonishment. The book contained a wealth of knowledge on natural remedies and holistic healing practices. Excitedly, Amara immersed herself in the pages, absorbing every word and detail. She discovered a passage that spoke of a rare flower, known as the blossom of Serenity, which possessed remarkable properties to neutralize unpleasant odors. Driven by hope and fueled by her desire to find a solution, she embarked on a quest to find this elusive flower. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, as Amara tirelessly journeyed through forests, mountains, and rivers in search of the blossom of Serenity. She encountered treacherous terrains, faced wild beasts, and endured countless hardships along the way. Yet, her determination never wavered, for she knew that the reward at the end of her journey would be priceless. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, Amara discovered a hidden grove nestled deep within a mystical forest. There, amidst a sea of vibrant flora, she laid her eyes upon the most enchanting sight she had ever witnessed, the blossom of Serenity, radiating with an ethereal glow. With trembling hands, Amara plucked the delicate flower, cradling it gently in her palms. Its intoxicating fragrance filled the air, and a sense of peace washed over her. She knew that this was the answer she had been seeking all along. Returning to the village, Amara wasted no time in utilizing the precious petals of the blossom of Serenity. Through her knowledge and determination, she carefully crafted a unique blend that would combat her body odor and restore her confidence. Word quickly spread throughout the village, and soon, the villagers lined up outside Amara's humble abode, eager to witness the miraculous transformation. As Amara applied the remedy to her body, a wave of relief washed over her. The unpleasant smell dissipated, replaced by a delicate scent that lingered in the air. From that day forward, Princess Amara's body odor became a thing of the past. She continued to reign over the village with grace and compassion, her kindness and gentle nature touching the lives of all who crossed her path. Her story became a testament to the power of perseverance, reminding everyone that true beauty lies not in physical appearance, but in the purity of one's heart and the strength of their character. From a tender age, Amara possessed a distinct aroma that surpassed that of her peers, and as time went by, it only intensified. This potent scent seemed to follow her wherever she went, becoming an inseparable part of her being. As she transitioned into a young woman, the villagers' attitudes towards her began to change. They would deliberately keep their distance, unable to bear the overpowering fragrance that emanated from her. Unbeknownst to Amara, behind her back, Some villagers would make cruel jokes and unpleasant comments about her unpleasant smell. It was disheartening to witness mothers swiftly whisking their little ones indoors as soon as they caught sight of her strolling along the dusty village road. Even her once loyal friends, the young girls who had been inseparable, now deliberately avoided her company. Amora's heart was heavy with sorrow. Despite her exquisite beauty and regal status, a cruel fate had bestowed upon her a most unfortunate affliction. It was a curse that repelled any potential suitors who dared to come near her within a 6-foot radius. The princess, longing for companionship, found herself abandoned and isolated, trapped in a palace that no longer felt like a home. The once vibrant and lively Amara had become a prisoner of her own scent. The young men from the village and neighboring kingdoms, who had once admired her from afar, were now driven away by her unfortunate odor. They would approach with hopeful intentions, only to be repelled by an invisible force that left them bewildered and disheartened. Thus, they chose to retreat, leaving Amara feeling utterly desolate and forsaken. The princess, once known for her adventurous spirit, now rarely ventured beyond the palace walls. The world outside seemed daunting, filled with judgmental gazes and whispers that pierced through her fragile heart. Instead, she sought solace in the sanctuary of her bedroom, where she would spend hours lost in her own thoughts, gazing out of the window, yearning for a love that seemed unattainable. In her dreams, Amara imagined a love that transcended physical appearances, a love that would accept her for who she truly was. Odor and awe. She yearned for a genuine connection, someone who would see beyond the surface and recognize the kindness that resided within her. But as days turned into weeks and weeks into months, the princess couldn't help but feel that such a love was nothing more than a distant fantasy. Loneliness became Amara's constant companion, a heavy burden she carried with her every waking moment. Tears stained her pillow as she wept for the companionship she so desperately craved. The weight of her isolation seemed unbearable at times, threatening to drown her in a sea of despair. Yet, amidst the darkness, a flicker of hope remained. Amara's kind heart refused to succumb to the despair that surrounded her. She clung onto the belief that someday, somehow, love would find its way to her. She held on to the notion that there must be someone out there who would see past her unfortunate curse and recognize the beauty that lay within. In the depth of her solitude, Amara found solace in her own strength. She vowed to continue searching for love, not only for herself but for all those who felt marginalized and judged for their differences. She became a beacon of hope, radiating kindness and understanding to those who crossed her path. Amara's story serves as a reminder that true love knows no boundaries. It is a force that can withstand the most daunting of challenges and overcome the harshest of circumstances. And as the princess continues to dream of finding her soulmate, she remains steadfast in her belief that one day, love will conquer all. On a blistering summer day, when the sun's scorching rays seemed to penetrate even the thick stone walls of her castle, Amara found herself seeking solace in her bedroom. Desperate for a respite from the oppressive heat, she decided to keep her shutters open, hoping that a gentle breeze might find its way into her sanctuary. As she found herself, the sounds of merriment drifted up from the village square, reaching her ears like a tantalizing melody. The rhythmic beat of drums reverberated through the air, accompanied by peals of laughter that seemed to carry the weight of pure joy. Amara's curiosity was piqued, and her mind began to wander, imagining the scene that lay beyond the castle walls. She yearned to be a part of the festivities, to witness the villagers' jubilant celebrations firsthand. A mischievous smile tugged at the corners of her lips as she contemplated the possibility of sneaking out of the palace unnoticed. Amara was well aware of the strict protocols and expectations that came with her position as a princess. But in that moment, the allure of the unknown beckoned her like a siren's call. The villagers appeared so carefree, so engrossed in their dancing and revelry, and she couldn't help but feel a pang of envy. With each passing moment, her desire to join the festivities grew stronger. Amara imagined herself mingling with the villagers, their infectious laughter filling the air, their vibrant dances captivating her senses. The mere thought of stepping out of the confines of her royal existence and immersing herself in the world of the common people filled her with a sense of liberation. However, Amara knew that such an escapade would not go unnoticed. The palace guards were vigilant, and her every move was scrutinized. She pondered the risks and consequences that would accompany her impulsive decision. Would she be reprimanded for her audacity? Would her father, the king, be disappointed in her for disregarding her responsibilities? These thoughts weighed heavily on her mind, but they couldn't extinguish the flame of curiosity burning within her. As the sun continued its relentless assault on the land, Amara found herself torn between the safety of her castle sanctuary and the allure of the unknown. She longed to experience the simple pleasures that the villagers seemed to revel in, even if it was just for a fleeting moment. The thought of witnessing their unbridled happiness, of being a silent observer to their carefree existence, was too tempting to resist. In the end, Amara made her decision. With a mixture of trepidation and excitement, she took a deep breath and made her way towards the castle's grand entrance. Each step felt like a quiet rebellion against the constraints of her royal life, a declaration of her desire to experience the world beyond her gilded cage. As she stepped out into the village square, Amara's senses were immediately overwhelmed by a whirlwind of sights and sounds. The air was thick with the aroma of sizzling street food. The vibrant colors of the villagers' attire danced before her eyes, and the infectious energy of the crowd enveloped her. Amara found herself lost in the midst of the festivities, her worries and responsibilities momentarily forgotten. She laughed and danced alongside the villagers, feeling a connection to them that she had never experienced before. In that moment, she realized that true happiness could be found in the simplest of pleasures, in the company of those who knew nothing of her royal status. As the sun began its descent, painting the sky in hues of gold and pink, Amara reluctantly bid farewell to the villagers and made her way back to the castle. The experience had changed her, leaving an indelible mark on her heart and soul. She knew that her life as a princess would continue, but she would forever cherish the memory of that scorching summer day when she found freedom in the embrace of the villagers' joyous celebrations. Silently and discreetly, Princess Amara managed to escape the confines of the opulent palace, venturing towards the outskirts of the bustling village square. In that fleeting instant, not a single soul noticed her presence amidst the crowd. Amara took solace in the shadows, her eyes fixated on the enchanting sight of her peers, gracefully twirling in their vibrant skirts. Oh, how she longed to join them, to experience the carefree joy that seemed to emanate from every fiber of their beings. However, fate had other plans for the young princess. A sudden gust of wind swept through the square, carrying with it an unfortunate and unmistakable odor that was uniquely Amara's. The scent wafted through the air, causing the noses of the onlookers to wrinkle in disgust as they desperately sought out the source of the unpleasant smell. The rhythmic drumming and exuberant dancing came to an abrupt halt, as every pair of eyes turned towards the solitary figure of the princess, standing alone in her vulnerability. In that moment, the atmosphere shifted dramatically. Mouths hung open in sheer disbelief, quickly transforming into twisted sneers of derision. The once lively crowd doubled over, their expressions contorted in a mixture of disgust and mockery. Hushed whispers filled the air, carrying derogatory remarks that were directed towards Amara, each word a piercing arrow aimed at her wounded heart. Pointing fingers only served to further emphasize her isolation, as if marking her as an outcast. The joy that had permeated the air mere moments ago vanished without a trace, replaced by a suffocating cloud of humiliation that enveloped the princess. Tears welled up in her eyes, a reflection of the deep anguish she felt within her soul. The weight of the collective judgment and scorn bore down upon her delicate shoulders, threatening to crush her spirit. In that moment of vulnerability, Amara's inner strength wavered, overwhelmed by the weight of the world's cruelty. Yet, amidst the sea of disdain, a flicker of resilience burned within Princess Amara's eyes. She refused to let the cruel words and scornful glances define her worth. With each tear that cascaded down her cheeks, a newfound determination took root within her. No longer would she allow the opinions of others to dictate her happiness or dampen her spirit. In that moment, Amara made a silent vow to rise above the pettiness and cruelty that surrounded her. She would embrace her uniqueness, her flaws, and transform them into a source of strength. The path ahead may be treacherous, but she was determined to forge her own destiny, one that would defy the expectations and limitations imposed upon her. With a final glance towards the village square, Amara turned away from the piercing stares and stifling judgment. She walked away, her head held high, knowing that she possessed an inner resilience that would guide her towards a brighter future. And as she disappeared into the distance, A flicker of hope ignited within the hearts of those who had witnessed her plight, reminding them of the power of resilience and the beauty that lies within embracing one's true self. Feeling utterly embarrassed and ashamed, Amara hastily retreated from the boisterous crowd, her heart pounding in her chest. She sought solace behind a dense cluster of bushes, her trembling body desperately hoping to remain unseen by prying eyes. Crouching down, she closed her eyes tightly, silently praying that fate would be on her side and spare her from further humiliation. In the midst of her anxious thoughts, a distant sound broke through the silence, a rhythmic beat that grew louder and more distinct with each passing moment. Fearfully, Amara's eyes darted towards the source of the noise, her curiosity piqued. Peering through the lush foliage, she was astounded to witness a young man from a neighboring village approaching, a wide grin adorning his face. The young man, seemingly oblivious to Amara's hidden presence, continued to play a hand drum with exuberance, each beat resonating through the air. His cheerful demeanor and carefree movements were a stark contrast to Amara's current state of distress. As he drew closer to her hiding spot, he suddenly halted his rhythmic performance, his eyes meeting Amara's with genuine curiosity, breaking the silence. He spoke with kindness in his voice. "Why did you stop dancing back there? You looked so joyful and free while you were dancing." His words hung in the air, causing Amara's heart to skip a beat. How could he have seen her dancing? She had thought she was invisible amidst the throng of people. Amara's mind raced, contemplating her response. Should she admit her shame and explain the reason behind her sudden retreat? Or should she brush off his question, pretending she didn't understand what he was referring to? The young man's unwavering gaze urged her to open up, to share her vulnerability with a stranger. Summoning her courage, Amara took a deep breath and spoke with a voice barely above a whisper. I felt embarrassed. I thought everyone was watching me and judging my every move." Her words hung in the air, her vulnerability laid bare before this stranger. To her surprise, the young man's smile widened, his eyes filled with understanding. "I understand how you feel," he replied gently. "But let me tell you something, when you were dancing, you radiated a joy that was infectious. You were free, unburdened by the judgment of others. Don't let fear and shame hold you back from expressing yourself." Amara's eyes widened in astonishment. This unexpected encounter had transformed her perspective, offering a glimmer of hope amidst her despair. In the midst of her vulnerability, she found solace and encouragement from the most unexpected source, a stranger who saw her not as someone to be judged, but as someone capable of immense joy and freedom. As the young man continued on his way, his drumbeat fading into the distance, Amara couldn't help but feel a renewed sense of determination. She emerged from her hiding spot, no longer consumed by embarrassment and shame. With each step she took, she vowed to embrace her true self, unafraid of the watchful eyes of others. From that day forward, Amara never allowed fear to hinder her from expressing her joy through dance. Inspired by the encounter with the young man and his drum, she danced with abandon, embracing her freedom and radiating a joy that touched the hearts of those around her. And in those moments, amidst the rhythmic beats and swaying movements, Amara found a sense of belonging and acceptance. Knowing that she was no longer alone in her journey towards self-expression, Amara was taken aback by the fact that this stranger had followed her all the way to this secluded spot. She quickly wiped away her tears, attempting to regain her composure. I didn't want to spoil their happiness," she whispered, her voice barely audible. Sitting down beside her, the young man's eyes were filled with understanding and compassion. "Princess Amara, your mere presence should never dampen anyone's joy. We are all flawed and imperfect, but those traits do not define us. It is our spirit and the love we share with others that truly matter." Amara looked at him, her heart deeply touched by his heartfelt words. "But my body odor, it's unbearable. It repels people and pushes them away." The young man gently placed a hand on her shoulder, offering comfort and support. "Amara, you are more than just your body odor. You possess a kind heart and a beautiful soul. True friends and loved ones will see beyond any physical imperfections and appreciate you for who you are on the inside." Amara's eyes welled up with gratitude as she absorbed his words. She had always felt self-conscious about her body odor, believing it to be a flaw that isolated her from others. But this stranger's kind words reminded her that true happiness and genuine connections were built on acceptance and understanding. Thank you, she whispered, her voice filled with sincerity. Your words have given me hope and a renewed sense of self-worth. The young man smiled warmly, his eyes sparkling with encouragement. You are deserving of love and happiness. Amara, never forget that. Embrace your unique qualities and let your spirit shine through. The right people will be drawn to you for who you truly are. With those words, Amara felt a newfound strength and determination. She realized that her body odor did not define her worth as a person. She would no longer allow it to hold her back from experiencing the joy and love she deserved. As they sat there in silence, Amara felt a sense of liberation wash over her. She was ready to face the world with confidence and embrace herself fully, flaws and all. And with the young man's support and understanding, she knew she would never have to face her battles alone again. The young man's kind smile radiated warmth and compassion as he leaned in closer to the princess. His eyes sparkled with a secret he couldn't wait to share. Princess, he began, his voice gentle yet filled with certainty. I have a secret that I believe will bring you comfort and hope. It is a truth that many fail to recognize, but one that I hold dear to my heart. Amara's eyes widened in surprise, captivated by the young man's words. She had never experienced such understanding and acceptance before. Her heart yearned to know more, to understand who these remarkable people were that he spoke of. But who would do that? She asked, her voice filled with a mix of curiosity and vulnerability. Who would love someone like me? With a tender touch, the young man reached out and gently intertwined his fingers with hers. The connection sent a wave of warmth through Amara's body, a feeling she had longed for but never thought possible. His voice, filled with sincerity and unwavering belief, resonated in her ears. I would, he replied, his words carrying the weight of a promise. I see in you a compassionate, kind-hearted princess, deserving of love that knows no bounds. Your struggles, your imperfections, they do not define you. They are simply a part of the beautiful tapestry that makes you who you are. Amara's heart swelled with a mixture of emotions. In that moment, she felt seen, truly seen, for the first time in her life. The young man's words washed over her, washing away the doubts and insecurities that had plagued her for so long. She realized that her unique scent, once a source of shame and isolation, was now being embraced and accepted by someone who saw the essence of her being. Tears welled up in Amara's eyes as she gazed into the young man's eyes, her voice trembling with gratitude. Thank you, she whispered, her words barely audible but filled with profound meaning. Thank you for showing me that there are people out there who can see beyond the surface, who can love unconditionally. You have given me hope, and for that, I am eternally grateful. The young man's smile grew wider, his eyes filled with a sense of purpose. Princess, it is not just I who believes in the power of acceptance and love, he said, his voice carrying the weight of experience. There are countless individuals out there, waiting to be discovered, who will stand by your side no matter what. They will see the beauty within you, the strength that lies beneath the struggles. They will embrace you, not in spite of your imperfections, but because of them. As Amara absorbed his words, a newfound sense of confidence began to bloom within her. She realized that she was not alone in her journey, that there were people out there who would cherish her for who she truly was. The young man's presence had ignited a flame of hope within her, one that would guide her towards a future filled with love, understanding, and acceptance. And so, hand in hand, the young man and the princess embarked on a journey together, a journey that would lead them to discover a world where true love and acceptance knew no boundaries, a world where the strength of character and the beauty of imperfection were celebrated. And as they walked side by side, Amara knew that she had found a companion who would stay by her side, supporting her through every twist and turn, reminding her that she was worthy of love, just as she was. Amara's heart raced with anticipation as she peered into Aadan's eyes, desperately searching for any hint of deception. Yet, to her surprise, all she discovered was an overwhelming sense of warmth and genuine affection. It was as if a spark of hope had been ignited within her, filling her with a glimmer of happiness that had long been absent from her life. As the days turned into weeks, Amara and Aadan found themselves spending more and more time together. Aadan, unlike others, surpassed Amara's physical appearance and embraced her for her true essence. They would often embark on long walks through the village, their hands intertwined, and Amara's presence no longer caused discomfort or rejection. It was as if Aadan's unwavering love and acceptance had cast a magical spell on the villagers, allowing them to finally see Amara for who she truly was, a kind and gentle soul. Gone were the days when Amara was shunned and ignored by the villagers. Instead, they now saw her through Aadan's eyes, recognizing her innate goodness and the beauty that radiated from within her. They witnessed her selflessness and compassion firsthand, and slowly but surely, they began to open their hearts to her. Amara's transformation was remarkable. The once lonely and misunderstood woman now found herself surrounded by newfound acceptance and love. She blossomed under the nurturing care of Aadan, who constantly reminded her of her worth and embraced her unconditionally. Together, they built a haven of love and understanding, where Amara could finally be herself without fear of judgment. The villagers, too, were touched by Amara's incredible journey of self-discovery and growth. They marveled at the power of love and acceptance, realizing that true beauty lies not in physical appearance but in the depth of one's character. Amara's story became an inspiration to all, a reminder that everyone deserves a chance to be seen and loved for who they truly are. And so, Amara's heart skipped a beat once again. But this time it was not out of fear or doubt. It was a beat of pure joy and gratitude, for she had found not only love but also a newfound sense of belonging. With Aadan by her side and the support of the village, Amara knew that she had finally found her place in the world, a place where she could thrive and be embraced for the beautiful soul she had always been. The enchanting tale of Princess Amara and Aadan's blossoming love spread like wildfire throughout the entire village. What was once a sea of hurtful remarks and judgmental glances transformed into whispers of admiration and awe. The villagers, who were once quick to judge and criticize, now saw the beauty in this unexpected union. King Tafari, Princess Amara's father, couldn't help but notice the remarkable change that had come over his daughter. The spark in her eyes, the smile that graced her face, it was clear that she had found happiness at last. Overjoyed to see his daughter thriving and in love, the king welcomed Aadan into their palace with open arms. He recognized the genuine love that Amara and Aadan shared, and he knew that it was something worth celebrating and cherishing. Princess Amara's journey taught her a valuable lesson: the importance of self-acceptance and the power of finding people who would love her unconditionally. She had spent so much of her life feeling burdened by her own perceived flaws, particularly her odor. It had always been a barrier to her finding love and acceptance. But with Aadan by her side, she no longer felt the weight of her physical imperfections. Instead, she discovered the true nature of love, that it transcends appearances and embraces the beauty of the heart. Together, Amara and Aadan created a love story that defied societal expectations and norms. Their love was a testament to the fact that true happiness lies in embracing oneself fully and finding someone who loves and accepts us for who we truly are. Their union not only brought joy to them but also inspired others to look beyond superficial judgments and prejudices. As the village continued to buzz with excitement over the love story of Princess Amara and Aadan, it served as a reminder to all that love knows no bounds. It has the power to transform even the harshest of judgments into whispers of admiration and respect. And in the end, it is the love that we give and receive that truly defines us and brings us the greatest joy. From that fateful day onwards, Princess Amara embarked on a journey to spread her unwavering kindness and gentle nature throughout the village. However, something had changed within her. Now, she had the love and unwavering support of her beloved Aadan by her side. And this newfound love only amplified her ability to touch the lives of those around her. The villagers, who had once been captivated by Amara's innate goodness, were now further inspired by the love story that unfolded before their eyes. They witnessed the transformation that occurred in Princess Amara. As she blossomed under the care and affection of Aadan, it was as if her heart had found its missing piece. And this completion radiated from her every action. With Aadan's love, Princess Amara's acts of kindness took on a new depth and significance. It was not just about spreading goodwill and helping those in need, but also about understanding the true essence of a person. The villagers had once judged Amara based on her royal status, but now they understood the importance of looking beyond appearances and embracing the beauty that lies within. The love between Princess Amara and Aadan became a beacon of hope for the village. Their love story served as a reminder that true happiness and fulfillment can only be found when one embraces the true essence of a person. rather than being swayed by superficial judgments. It was a valuable lesson that the villagers carried with them, long after the tale of Amara and Aadan had become a part of their collective memory. As time went on, the village transformed into a place of genuine kindness and acceptance. The once divided community now stood united, bound together by the lessons they had learned from Princess Amara and Aadan. They looked beyond appearances, seeing the beauty in each person's unique story and embracing the diversity that existed within their midst. Princess Amara and Aadan's love story continued to inspire generations to come. Their tale became a part of the village's folklore, a story that was passed down from one generation to another, serving as a reminder of the power of love and acceptance. And as the villagers retold the story, they emphasized the importance of looking beyond the surface, of embracing the true essence of a person, just as Princess Amara had done. So, Princess Amara's legacy lived on, not just as a kind-hearted ruler, but as a symbol of love and acceptance. Her story taught the villagers a valuable lesson that would forever shape their lives. And as they carried this lesson in their hearts, they continued to spread kindness and embrace the true essence of every person they encountered, ensuring that Princess Amara's legacy would never be forgotten. Like, comment, share and subscribe to Nola Tales so you never miss out on more inspiring stories. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for our next captivating adventure.